From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Today, Fox 13's Chip Brewster is rolling up his sleeves in the garden.
Yeah, beautiful day for gardening out there today it was. He's at Maximo Elementary. Maximo Elementary School in St. Petersburg. Chip, how's it going? Plenty of rain for the veggies.
No, well, that's the thing. Like a day like today, rainy, overcast, maybe you don't want to go outside to the beach, but it's a perfect day to go out to the garden. It gets everything kind of moistened up, easier for you to work with. And this isn't the Fox 13 garden, as cool as that one is. This is the Maximo Elementary Peace Patch Garden. And it is at an elementary school, as it suggests, and its purpose is education. And we are going to get into how they do that, meet a couple of kids that go through the program, and meet the people behind the Edible Peace Patch Project. Short story, they want to expand. So hopefully we can get this to a bunch more elementary schools throughout the area, because it is such a cool mission, and we're going to tell you all about it and show off the garden. They've got some good harvest already today, guys.
Nice.
Rolled up the sleeves. I'm ready.
Can't wait to see you get your hands a little dirty today. Thanks, Chip. All right, coming up, if something's on your menu other than love, you may want to check out this garden here. Chip Brewster taking us to a local elementary school where students and the community are creating the perfect garden.
A little work in the garden can go a long way. It's something the Edible Peace Patch Project, that's a mouthful,
you did well,
is hoping to impart on kids around our area.
Yeah, Fox 13's Chip Brewster live in St. Pete at Maximo Elementary School, where Chip, volunteers are really putting in these hours to make that mission possible.
They really are, and it's cool because they come out here on their own time, get this garden going, and then they bring the kids into it. I've got Kelly Harper, who's the education director with the Edible Peace Patch Project, to kind of dive into that part of the mission. In fact, we've got a couple of kids that are out here behind us, and they're part of the after-school program element, right?
Correct, yes.
So what do you guys do as far as education and tying in with the elementary school?
Absolutely. So currently we have 8 schools that we're doing education at, and 5 of them we're doing education during the school day. So that means the teachers bring the students out to school, and we teach them a curriculum that's standard, that matches up to the state standards. So they come out, and typically it's during the science block.
Okay.
Yeah, and then at 3 schools we have our after-school program, like what we do here at Maximo Elementary. And so that one is a little different. It's more focused on nutrition, gardening, really getting students' hands in the dirt, and also introducing them to different community members.
And what about that daytime curriculum? Because you said curriculum.
Correct.
I mean, it's not like, hey, let's go play in the garden. You are actually educating based on plans that are made.
Exactly. So about a year ago, we tailored up with the Pinellas County School Board, and we created a curriculum for grades 3rd through 5th that meets the state standards, specifically in science.
And what are they learning and doing as a part of that?
Yeah, so anywhere from the water cycle to the life cycle of a plant to experiments out in the garden regarding energy, such as sun energy, all different types of ways we can tie in the garden to what they're learning in the classroom.
I remember learning that stuff in elementary school, but there was no garden in my classroom. It was all just looking at like slides and overhead projector Xerox things. I don't even think they use those anymore.
Right.
But this is way cooler.
There's so many different ways of learning, and just to have the kids in the garden learning what they're learning in the classroom in a hands-on way just really brings those concepts home.
And that ties in with your broader mission, like the whole reason you were founded, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were founded back in 2009. In Eckerd College, there was a professor of environmental studies whose students were learning about food security in the community. And so they decided to bring what they were learning to the community and started the first school garden at Lakewood Elementary. Fast forward 10 years, now we have 8 school gardens and 1 community garden. So on a larger mission, we do want to increase food access and also just education.
And to get to that mission, you need help. You need volunteers, you need donations. Yes. Tell the viewers out there who are like, this is an awesome program, how they can come and make it grow.
Awesome. So we just teamed up with our club, and we encourage you to check out our website, ourclub.net. Go and see how you can get involved. There's a tab that says, how can I get involved? Click Edible Peace Patch. We have several ways, including coming out to our weekly work days where you can learn about gardening organically in Florida, or you can be a part of our education program, which is actually out here with the students on a weekly basis.
That's really neat. And so just to clarify, there's volunteering. If you don't want to work with kids, you can come and just volunteer in the garden, and you don't even have to know what you're doing to volunteer.
You don't, because our work days are essentially workshops. So we're going to teach you from the seed to harvest, how to grow your own plants, how to harvest, and how to eat that in college as well.
And how to have a little fun. We've actually, the volunteers out here, you were telling me this is their first time, right? So they're actually learning the ropes, learning the mulch and the rakes as we speak.
Absolutely. So we give a basic 101 gardening to all of our volunteers who come through our program.
There you go. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm just going to keep standing here and watching you. You missed a spot right under your foot there. Spread some mulch over that way. Yep, there you go. Yeah, good job. Man, I am really good at the whole supervising thing. I should do that more often. Anyways, thanks, Kelly. So that is just a little overview, if you will. Now we got to get into the crux of it. Coming up in our next segment, we'll talk to the kids, see what they've learned, see what they've planted, see what they've tasted, and get our hands a little dirty. Yes, Linda, we'll get into some gardening here, of course, on the Fox 4 o'clock news.
I always loved hands-on learning and being outside, out of the classroom's great.
And it's something these kids can use the rest of their life,
Absolutely.
you know, and looking forward to it. Mulch Master Chip Brewster supervising the project there. Thank you, Chip.
We've been telling you about an elementary school in St. Pete where students are learning to garden.
Yeah, but it's
so smart.
It is, but it's not just for the kids. You, the community, can also join this community garden, hence the name. Chip Brewster is there live with some gloves on. Hey, Chip.
All right.
Hey guys, yeah, no, we're getting to work because it takes a lot to take care of a garden, and I've got some of the kids in the after-school program here with the Edible Peace Patch Project, and we are going to talk to them and turn that microphone on for her coming up so that we can see just what is involved with being a part of something bigger than yourself. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
I don't know. What do you think, Chip? We're on the subject of food, which is appropriate.
I think I want to share one of those with Chris Cato. That sounds like an amazing idea.
We can do it.
Want mac and cheese?
Huh?
Yeah, not Lady and Tramp style though. Like you stay on your end of the bread, I'll stay on my end of the bread. But
right.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Of course.
Right. Well, but in at Panera, they have like the adult mac and cheeses too. So like I could do like the bacon and Gouda, and you could do the other avocado California, whatever it is.
This
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Bacon and Gouda.
Let's make this happen.
It's dinner time. You're making me hungry.
It's a date. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's talk about today, though. Before you can make any of those delicious products, the stuff to make them has to be grown, and that is where garden comes in. We are at Maximo Elementary in St. Pete, where they have the Edible Peace Patch Project garden at the school, and we've got some of the participants. So, Kelly, you are our education director. Why don't you introduce us to the 3 after-school programmers we've got with us today?
Sure, this is Zakari.
Hey, Zakari.
This is Avon.
Avon.
And this is Asia.
Asia. And Avon really wants to hold the microphone. What do you want to say into the microphone?
What's your name?
My name's Chip. What's your name?
At the news studio.
It's still Chip at the news. Oh, who at the news studios there? It's Chris and Linda.
Hi, Chris and Linda.
Good job, Avon. So we are hanging out in the garden with some of our... Oh, they said hello back, Avon.
He's doing a great
And
job.
we're hanging out with these guys, and I know, Zakari, you wanted to put me to work, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so what are we doing?
You're gonna taste some of our garden foods.
Oh, we're tasting foods. Okay.
More like you're gonna fill them up.
What? Okay, what am I tasting out of the garden that you've been working on here?
First, you're gonna taste some dinosaur kale.
Dinosaur kale?
Yeah.
Like literally just take a bite? Okay, all right. Avon, okay.
Take another bite.
Avon, I'm not a rabbit.
All right, Avon.
Is that what you wanted, Avon? Okay, good. You know,
Whole thing, just stuff it in your mouth.
why don't you have some with me?
No, I already tried some.
And she tried some earlier, and she had to go spit it out into the compost pile, is what she's not telling you. Is there anything here that you do like?
Yes.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so.
I'm following Zakari over here. Oh, this is getting really bad. Don't point the camera away from me for a second. I'm good. Are we going over here? Okay, gotta follow Zakari over here. What are you picking now? What is this?
May I? The first thing you have to do if you want to plant, you have to say may I.
May I, like to the plant?
Yes. Because
Okay.
you'll bring nice to nature. With these
Oh.
gloves on, I can't even really pick one.
I can kind of smell this. Is this rosemary by chance?
Yes.
And you just try rosemary plain?
Yes.
Can I see you do it first?
Yes.
Okay.
How about you try some, Mr. Chip?
Yeah,
you
please
said
pick some for me.
Yeah.
And Asia, we haven't heard from you yet. Do you have something really cool, something favorite about the garden here?
Yes, I wanted to know if you like the garden or not.
I really like.
True.
I really like your guys' garden. Do you have too much rosemary? Yeah. I really do, and I think you gave me a little too much rosemary too. It's
Me
potent,
too.
and Avon too. Okay? You guys want to hold this microphone, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they do. I'm going to toss it back to you guys while our feature reporters, who are gunning to steal my job, take over for me.
It just made my
is the
day
best.
watching them.
I know.
Mr. Chip, did you know this right here is pineapples?
Look at her. She's ready to roll.
You can recognize the plant.
Oh.
She's got it.
I have punishment for you.
What's that?
Chip is going to lose his job today.
She's schooling him.
Chip has just lost his job. Those kids are awesome. I love that they were feeding him like he was a zoo animal. Like, that was great.
They were great. Well, coming up, a little work in the garden can go a long way.
That's what Chip Brewster is learning, along with some local kids who I think are kind of showing him a thing or two, Chip.
Oh, they were. They were really showing me how to enjoy the taste of kale by shoving it into my mouth. But this is just a little example of some of the stuff that they've been able to harvest thanks to learning about the garden with the Edible Peace Patch Project. We'll introduce you to that group and how you can help them in their mission coming up.
Taking lessons from inside a classroom and applying it outside. That's what volunteers with the Edible Peace Patch Project are hoping to do using this community garden. And Fox 13's Chip Brewster is live now at Maximo Elementary in St. Pete.
And Chip, we just love the idea of these kids learning how to grow their own food, learning about a garden. I mean, what great lessons to learn at such a young age, too.
It really is neat. And you're mentioning the classroom, like right there. There's the classroom. That's the school where they have their science classes. And then once a week for 8 weeks at a time, they come out certain grades and actually have a curriculum in the garden with the Edible Peace Patch Project. The person to tell us about that is the education director with the Edible Peace Patch Project. I just like saying Edible Peace Patch Project because I've practiced it so many times.
You did. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. So this is Kelly, and we're going to take like a brief tour of the garden. So why don't you tell me about what we're seeing and then how that ties in with the curriculum you guys developed for those students?
Absolutely. So we like to call this area our outdoor classroom, right? Because it's more than just a garden, right? It's our educational platform. So over here we have a few different types of crop. We have some curly kale, which does really well here in Florida. We have some nasturtiums, which are actually edible flowers, got a nice spice to them. We've got some kohlrabi, which is a really interesting plant. Let's see, we just put some more ones in today. We have some peppers, some beautiful lavender,
Very nice.
and some mammoth sunflowers.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hard to miss the giant sunflower in the middle. And this one over here, I can easily point this out. Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
They're taking over the box in this one.
They are taking over, yes. So this bed is devoted to our tomatoes, but we also just planted some crawling squash.
Oh, cool.
And in here, it's kind of hard to see, they're defined, but we have some some carrot sprouts coming up and some beet sprouts.
And how do you use this platform to take what kids are learning in the classroom and showing them like how it applies in real life?
Absolutely. So what's really cool is they get to see the plants grow from seed to harvest. So that alone is the plant cycle, the life cycle of a plant. We also get to talk about the water cycle out here in the garden. We get to do fun experiments regarding the sun and energy and using the scientific method. So that's really cool as well.
And they get their hands dirty. I mean, there's weeding to do. You have to do the harvesting. We're showing that off. We had the kids over here. They were actually the ones earlier. They were hugging. This is the broccoli, right?
Yeah.
Because they were going, oh, broccoli. This one's my favorite.
Yeah. So we're actually letting this one go to seed, so we can talk about the proper seed harvesting.
Well,
and how to save them.
Even the dirt. That's a part of it, right?
That is a part of it too, yeah. So our soil is not store-bought. We actually divert 1,200 pounds of food waste from the community every month, and we turn that into nutritious soil.
Where do you do that at? Is that
so we have about 15 different community partners that we pick up from, and then we bring them to the school and we compost them.
So you're composting here?
Here in school, yep.
Is that
that way? Let's take a journey.
Okay.
Let's go.
There, come on over to the compost pile. And while we're walking to the compost pile, tell me, for all our viewers out there that are interested in being a part of this, because you guys are growing and expanding, you want to go to multiple schools, how can they take part and help that expansion happen?
We would love for you to be a part in any way possible. So we definitely take donations monetarily, but also resource-based. We are always looking for new equipment in the garden, hand shovels, trowels, wheelbarrows, all those things, but also getting involved with your own hands. So you can go on ourclub.net and ways to get involved and click on the Edible Peace Patch tab. You'll find that we have an education program and then also our weekly workshops and garden days.
There you guys have it. Hopefully we have inspired you to take part and spread that wealth of knowledge about gardening. You don't even have to have the knowledge yourself. They'll come out here and teach you, so you can also teach others, such as how to make a compost pile. There it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Decomposition, bugs.
Chemistry going on right there in that pile. Hey, what happens to the food? What happens to the food they harvest?
Oh, well, they harvest it, and the kids get to take part in that, and then those kids get to take it home. So it just kind of completing that cycle. They learn how it's grown, then they get to consume it, and maybe even pass the knowledge on to their families at house.
Great. Great idea.
Good stuff today. Thanks.
It is really good.